Yeah, I know there are still organizations and some hospitals, healthcare systems that are still kind of not, they haven't updated their view of the infection preventionist role. And so there are these limitations as to who can apply to be an IP, who can be hired as an IP. I still see postings, RNs only. I'm like, in 2024, like, you need to think beyond that. And so I can understand the frustration for nurses that are trying to get in the field. But there are a lot of organizations that are now open to exploring these interdisciplinary teams, and they're the best infection preventionist programs. So look for those. If you're a nurse, don't get frustrated by the few postings that say RNs only. I also would challenge people to look infection prevention now. Like you see a lot of non-traditional healthcare infection preventionist roles. So you see the industry is now looking more into hiring infection preventionists. I know there's the vet hospitals, like these, not clinics but the major vet hospitals, actually now have infection preventionists in residency. And so I think we'll continue to see growth in where IPs can work, and hopefully that diversity would entertain a lot more people that maybe don't want to be in the hospital. I'm also very intrigued and looking forward to the continued conversation that APIC is leading in creating tracks, in academic tracks for infection preventionists. As somebody that went through that program, I think that is something that needs to be on the forefront of every academic program. Infection prevention, the career path, the task force, the workforce is that where it needs to be. We need more IPs than we have. And so academic programs should look to help build that gap by developing programs that will allow students to graduate with the core knowledge that they can now get into the field and learn to apply as well as continue to grow. I think when I think about 5 years from now, I, I would like to challenge healthcare organizations to look at infection prevention as a specialty and create opportunities for growth within the organization so that IPs are not maxing out in one organization and trying to find the opportunities elsewhere. That's the unfortunate part of being an IP. It's like you get to a point where this is kind of the ceiling and that's it. You want more growth, you have to go elsewhere, and that's very frustrating. But also it can be a disservice to the organization because this is somebody who spent maybe the last 4 or 5 years developing and building programs and working on projects, and now they're having to leave those projects and some of them stall. You'll be fortunate if you have somebody else to pick it up. So it's just makes more sense, in my opinion, to create opportunities so that they can continue to grow and retain them in the organization. So that's kind of my challenge to healthcare organizations, is looking at how you can continue to grow the field of infection prevention, because we all know when you have a strong infection prevention program, your quality metrics are great because of the work that IPs do. And overall safety, a lot of what we do really helps with the safety programs, and so it's not a loss investment. The return on investment is always positive and great.